Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Marbakov and this is episode 2 of Project Syracuse. We did the main landscape, so now I'm starting to build a little bit of a modular set that from which we will build our a lot of our buildings. And I decided to be a time lapse. We start in Max from an empty scene with just the UE guy as we usually do on the channel. And we're going to build modular set, but not in the way perhaps that you think a modular set that you put inside the game engine. No, it's a set of columns and walls and doorways and roofs that are just inside the 3D package, and from there we use them to build different assets that we later import in the engine. They will be UV, they will be textured inside the 3D package. And because for now we still don't have our procedural generator for buildings, we will probably build a tool like this either in Houdini or inside the engine itself. We'll see how we handle this, but for now I just want to have like a couple of assets that I can quickly slap together, make a building out of it and import it inside the engine. And the first thing we start obviously is a column, which I don't have to tell you how important columns are in when you want to represent the visuals of ancient architecture. And while we are taking this time lapse, if you want you can mute me, you can play some nice music and watch it. But what I want to say is how we're going to approach this Project Syracuse. We are not going to take it, finish this asset, move to the next asset. It just cannot be done with the art. Perhaps with the game development side of it, it may be done, but with the art side of it, no. When you're doing one-man operation, like basically this is in terms of art, you cannot think as a character artist or as an environment artist or as a prop artist or whatever. You and I know this doesn't sound very humble, and I apologize if I sound like arrogant, but you gotta think as above different artist types. You gotta think as your own art director, and you gotta put the world together in place. And to do that, you cannot just wait for to do the perfect building and then simply move to the next asset. You gotta kind of bring it all together, and the whole game grows together. So that way you have more immersive world, because you change things according to other things that are still not done. That's just the process of making video games. And basically why I'm telling you this is just do not expect the next episode to finish this. We still have to make a lot of substances. We are going to make substances for those buildings. They are not going to be uniquely unwrapped, at least most of those are not. They're just going to be unwrapped based with trim sheets and material and trim materials and whatever, which we'll cover along the way. And before I leave this time lapse to run its course and talk to you at the end, I just want to say another thing to touch on another subject, and this is, as you can see, I'm adding a lot of ledges to those pieces, a lot of places where you can grab onto, and this is just because the game is like that. Most of those pieces you can get away with textures and normal maps, but when you gotta see how the character climbs on it and grabs it, you better have a geometry in it, which leads me to the very important point that I'm trying to make, at least. You gotta make the art of the game usable for the mechanics you are going to have. So if it's a first person shooter, you don't need those as a separate geometry, but you will have a lot more breakable assets that you can shoot through, right? In the same way, we have a lot of climbing, or we hope we'll have a lot of climbing, so we do have a lot of ledges and places where you can grab onto. So what I just wanted to touch on was just have the game mechanics that you're going to implement in the game always in the back of your mind when you're doing environment art, especially environment art. And with that said, I'm just going to leave you to enjoy the time lapse. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. And I am having a new channel right now. I'm starting a new channel that's a place where I play video games, and I quite enjoy it. I haven't done it before. I mean, I've played a lot of video games, but I haven't recorded a video game playthrough, never in my life, and it's quite enjoyable. So feel free to check it. The link will be in the description down below. Thanks for the massive support, guys, on this channel and hopefully on the new channel. And I'll see you at the end of the video. Alright, if you stayed this late in the video, then you reached this end. We have our first building, and as you can see, with those columns and pillars and roof pieces, walls, whatever, we can build larger, smaller, 1-story, 2-story high, whatever buildings. Though this building is not to get inside, right? If you want to get inside the building and have some gameplay inside this building, this is a whole other story. Will be just kind of a world dressing, I call it. It's kind of a set dressing, like a prop, but it's a big architectural piece, right? And most of those in the final version will be built in with procedural generator. I'm sorry, I forgot the word, escaped my mind. With a procedural generator, but for now there is like this is more than enough. I saved a couple of those, couple of versions of those buildings, and I can just go slap them in the engine, try them out, and see what I have to change before I commit more to the assets. In the next episode, we are going to do scattering. That's right. We are going to go back to Houdini and do some scattering, because last day, I think yesterday or something like that, I went to the game, to the level, right, to the open world level, and it was so empty. It was like just this gray landscape and nothing in it, and you run and run and run and nothing happens. So I decided that to give it a little bit more immersiveness and a little bit more of a feel of scale right from the start, we're gonna do some scattering in Houdini, do some splat maps, and then create some foliage based on those splat maps. It should be a very fun episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, make sure to like this video, share it, comment on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.